As we know, life does not always turn out as planned. And while it's ideal if you're actually in a position to be able to manage your food more closely because you know what you're eating and what the proportions are and the quality of the food, sometimes life happens and we can end up on the road with our job, or perhaps we have missed a meal because of a change to our schedule. We could have hungry kids. We could have all kinds of things. So what do you do then if you need to get some quick food, maybe even drive-through food, and you want to stay low oxalate? Well, there are some tricks to the trade, and we're going to show you with a couple of pretty ordinary North American drive-through locations, and just walk through a menu a little bit and make some low oxalate choices. To the menu here shortly, but I already have some ideas about what are best choices. When it comes to a drink, coffee's low oxalate. You can have your favorite milk in it or dairy product. And interestingly enough, not something we talk about a lot, but you can also get Earl Grey tea. It's one of the low oxalate teas.
Hi there, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get started for you?
Hello.
Bacon and Gruyere egg bites for sure. Anything to drink?
I'm going to have a half decaf Americano, just a tall, and black. Just out of curiosity, do you folks still have the London Fog that uses the Earl Grey tea?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to keep that in mind for next time.
Alrighty, and that'll be all for today?
That's it for now.
Egg bites and a tall half decaf Americano. Perfect. Thank you so much. See you at the window.
Thank you. So, other options that might be good, they do have a charcuterie snack box, which uses mostly meat and cheese. It's probably lower oxalate. And some of their sandwiches would be okay, but you'd have to get them without the bun. And I think that's a little more challenging here at Starbucks. Most things are not gluten-free. And so unfortunately, wheat flour is a source of oxalate and something that I avoid because of how it can irritate the gut. All right, let's pull up to our nice person and pay. Thank you. I need some caffeine today. Perfect.
Have a nice day, no problem.
You too. So, as we pull up to the Tim Hortons menu, this one, like most drive-through, is going to have, again, a lot of things which are based on wheat flour. We are not necessarily wanting that because it's a source of oxalate. It's an irritant to the gut. But they do have sandwiches. I have never asked if I could get the sandwiches without the bun, but that would be an option. The other thing is I sometimes order just plain meat. So I have driven up here and ordered plain bacon, for instance, just to have something to snack on. Can really work well.
Good morning, Waffles. Good morning. Everybody taken?
I would like to get a medium cappuccino, please.
Medium hot cappuccino?
Yes.
Come on, anything else I can get you?
I think that's it for now.
Everybody, okay, $4 more now, but get through the window. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Interestingly enough, places like Tim Hortons actually make cappuccinos from scratch. So it's not just being dispensed from a machine. The advantage as well of ordering things that have dairy in them is that if your meal has a little bit of oxalate, milk is a great source of bioavailable minerals so that you might actually be able to bind a little bit of that unexpected oxalate in combination with your dairy in your beverage. So a thing like a cappuccino, if you like that, can be really helpful because it is actually using milk. And so you're getting more minerals there, and you use enough milk for it to matter. In a drink where you're just adding some cream, you may not be getting as many minerals. So if you like a latte, if you like a cappuccino, they're a good option. Another one of the things you can consider would be things like the dreaded convenience store meal. Now, I'm not saying that the average one is going to be great. I'm certainly not advocating, really nutrient deficient food. But I was just in this particular convenience store, which I'm parked in front of it at the moment, and they had some pre-made salads. That kind of option can be great because we're about to drive off to McDonald's and I am about to order plain meat patties. And the combination of plain meat patties with a salad might actually get you a reasonable meal. So come along while we sort out how to handle the McDonald's menu. We're on our way to McDonald's, but I am driving through one of those areas where you've got a bunch of food places, kind of a little strip mall kind of environment, and there are lots of places that you could hop in to buy food. The trick would be to see whether or not some of these little places would be able to work with you to remove things that are obvious oxalate problems, like toppings like spinach or spinach in salads or bread, conventional bread. Some places may have gluten-free bread options if you wanted something like a burger, but do ask for a list of ingredients, because the unfortunate thing is that not all gluten-free is low oxalate. And that would be particularly true if they are using high oxalate flours from gluten-free alternatives like nuts or quinoa or teff or buckwheat. Those kinds of flours, they are not going to be your friends. For me, because I like to stay very low oxalate, because I like to eat nutrient dense, because I'm carnivore-ish at least, when I come into McDonald's, their menu is limited enough. I don't necessarily have a lot of choices. I can certainly have a coffee, and while pop is not high oxalate, I wouldn't be having that either. So what I normally do is order plain meat patties. And the trick here is to order 1/4 pound meat patties, because otherwise you get these little teeny ones that come on their small burgers. And to make it clear to them that you're ordering just meat, you're not ordering a burger. It's actually relatively inexpensive. And then it's up to you if you want to add something to it. But as a fast meal where it's nutrient dense and I'm not going to have to worry about the oxalate content, nothing beats 2 or 3 plain ground beef meat patties. Even if they put things like pepper on it, that's not enough oxalate for me to worry about. And then something like my coffee. Another great option for some burger chains would be getting your burger lettuce wrapped. That allows you to have a burger and potentially have the kinds of toppings on it that you might want to have and not have to deal with the issue of what's in their gluten-free bun or eating a wheat flour bun, which wouldn't be ideal. So when you get it lettuce wrapped, then essentially your lettuce is around the burger and that's your bun. Keep in mind the one thing that we've discovered with lettuce wrapped burgers, which is they're drippy because there's no bun to absorb the liquid from things like ketchup or mustard or from the burger itself. But very nice option and gives you an opportunity again to have something that's low oxalate and not have to worry about it. A tablespoon of ketchup won't kill you. You could have some of these other kinds of condiments. Just know for yourself, if you have histamine issues, ketchup's probably not your friend. If you have salicylate issues, you don't want to add a lot of other kinds of condiments that are plant-based because of the possibility of salicylate in those. But you could easily have, for a low salicylate version, lettuce wrapped, mayonnaise, maybe you add a little bacon to the top. For a lower histamine version, lettuce wrapped, maybe use some mustard, perhaps you put on cucumber slices or something. You definitely have options with a lettuce wrapped burger that would give you a little bit more to eat and perhaps something a little bit more fun to eat than just plain burger patties, which is what I'm going to be doing here.
What was it, order?
I would like to have 3 plain 1/4 pound meat patties. I'm not ordering burgers. I'm just ordering meat.
So the 1/4 pounder one.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's everything?
Yep.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is phenomenally inexpensive. I just ordered 3/4 pound of ground beef and I got it for just over $7 I'm here in Canada. And that's almost as inexpensive as buying a pound of meat at the store, and you'd still have to cook it yourself. So sometimes these options are just really good ones in terms of your budget as well, not just your diet. Now, you'll notice I ordered them plain, but they will probably come with a bit of pepper on them. If you have issues with spices, simply ask to have them with no seasoning, and they will happily make you fresh patties, which is an advantage. And then if you want, you ask them for some salt packets if you want a little salt on them. So for those who are very sensitive and can't handle any of those kinds of spices like black pepper, just order them with no seasoning and you'll get them absolutely plain. You can add a little salt and away you go. So in our various little jaunts through this complex into drive-thrus, we have purchased egg bites, the bacon and Gruyere egg bites. They do also have red pepper egg white bites. Either one of them are probably okay from an oxalate standpoint, but I like the bacon and Gruyere because there's a bit more protein in them. We also bought a black coffee at that point. Very low oxalate, certainly at this size, probably under 5 milligrams. So that in itself, as a meal, egg bites and that, you would be fine. We also went to Tim Hortons. We discussed the fact that sometimes they will also let you order meat on its own. I have ordered plain bacon and we used it like finger food. And you can get very good coffee drinks there, actually handmade, less expensive than some other purveyors of such drinks. And if you get things like cappuccinos or lattes that have more milk, you have some minerals available in the food you're taking in the drink you're taking in, so that if there's some oxalate in the food, you can bind calcium or other minerals to that oxalate and hopefully avoid absorbing some of it. So that's a little trick of the trade for any kind of food where you might not be absolutely sure about its oxalate content. Then we hopped over to McDonald's and I've ordered plain meat patties, plain quarter-pound beef patties. And other than a little bit of oxalate from black pepper, those are essentially zero oxalate. The thing about them, even if you get a little bit of black pepper, is that black pepper is medium oxalate per teaspoon. So while I normally avoid it myself, just kind of on principle, because it's easy enough to buy white pepper, black pepper is not so high that you're going to have an issue with it. It's just whether or not your system tolerates it. So from an oxalate standpoint, fair number of options, possibility of things like convenience stores if they have pre-made salads. Best kind of salad for lowest oxalate is probably a Caesar type salad, as long as it's not using substitutions for low oxalate ingredients. So I have had the odd Caesar salad that thought it had to have kale in it. It doesn't need to have kale. So if it's a regular Caesar salad that's using romaine, you should be fine. We do sometimes need to think about other kinds of dietary restrictions. So if you're thinking about histamine, keep in mind things that are histamine triggers. And as a fellow individual who has to deal with histamine to some degree, I do find that McDonald's patties pass muster for me. They are low enough, if you will, in histamine for me to be able to have them without an issue. And I've also indulged in the odd order of the bacon Gruyere egg bites and done fine with those as well. If you're really sensitive to things like bacon, definitely look at the red pepper egg white version. But essentially, I'm hoping the good news story is that even when you cannot completely control your diet, there are ways to stay low oxalate and still enjoy all the benefits of the way that you eat at home. It might take a little thought. You might have to ask for the odd exception, like a sandwich not on a bun or grilled meat on top of a salad, which might not be on their menu. But there are places that are flexible that way. There are ways for you to handle your diet. We don't need to be thinking that we're stuck even when we have a situation where we're not in control of our food. Most small restaurants will work with you if you have an issue. If you ask for gluten-free, they're very careful. Small stores might have salads. I have walked into supermarkets and just bought fruit and cold meat. There are ways for us to make sure that we're eating in a low oxalate approach and taking care of ourselves, even when circumstances might surprise us. So thank you for watching. If you're enjoying my channel, as so many people say these days, please like and subscribe, and I will be back with more material and more tips for how to live your low oxalate life.